Thank you to the EA Creator Network for making this video possible. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm here with my sim self, which of course means we're doing a long play. We're going to be working on Wistmoor Hill today, but today we're going to tackle a community lot. I want to do the cinema/diner. I'm so excited for how it's going to turn out. I've already done a rough plan, so without further ado, get yourself a drink, a snack, a blanket, get super comfy because it's a long video, and let's get into it. This is the lot we're using today. It's a 30 by 20 lot, so it's a little bit on the smaller side, but I think that's okay because I do want everything to feel pretty small in this area anyways, because I want it to feel extra cozy, and I think having a small area does that best. But I still need it to be big enough so it'll be functional, but I think it'll be okay because I did map it out beforehand, because I like to try and get my rough idea out first so that it's not a complete disaster of like an hour of me just trying to figure out the exterior, because I could genuinely make boxes like this for probably 3 hours before I'm happy. So I try to do it a little bit off camera before I start recording, just so it's a bit more streamlined. But that being said, I think the way I've laid it out, everything should be functional, but of course I'll have to play test this a little bit before I actually release the save to the public. I think I'm just going to release the unplay tested version of it onto the gallery. I'll probably play test little things here and there, but I won't do like big play testing until it actually comes time to publish the save file. But for the exterior, I'm just trying to bring in a couple of different box-like shapes just to add a bit more dimension to what's kind of a boring shaped build originally, because with a lot of the community lots in real life, I would say they're all just kind of generic boxes, which I am trying to stray away from a little bit. I don't want to stray so far that it doesn't look realistic, but I do still want there to be more personality than what you might see in real life. And we're going to play around with some platform heights too, and this way we can get some cool varying heights. I'm trying to remember the height that I had this on, but I think that'll be okay for now. The bump out looks correct. Hopefully I've made this long enough for now. And then I have the front part. Okay, all in all, I think it's looking decently accurate to what I had before. I don't have one specific reference photo today, which I feel I usually do, but this time it's a mix of all of these little ones that I've seen and just kind of taking bits and pieces from the ones that I like and going from there. Maybe I'll put a couple on the screen if there's one I feel captures the mood the best. But if you're curious to see all of my inspiration for this save file, I'm going to make my Pinterest boards public very soon, so you can take a look through there. I think I always have my Pinterest linked in the description if you're curious. But I'm just going to try and adjust the roofing a little bit. There's really not much roofing that happens with this build, because again, it's a community lot, so I feel it's usually just like flat roofs. I'm also thinking I have the spacing on this incorrect. And we can bring it in like that. And then here I want to have a little bump out, kind of like a bay window bump out. I'm going to build the ceiling. This is the very rough outline completed. We do need to add all of the details, of course, but in its most bare bone form, this is what we have. I also want to put in a parking lot for this, so I'm gonna kind of pave it all the way to here. I'm not entirely sure the layout of this just yet, but maybe it'd be better if I pushed everything to this side and then we could connect. Oh, I was gonna say we could connect these two lots with this pathing, but there's actually going to be a gap in between the two lots, so that won't work. So maybe we'll just try it like this and then added some of the wallpapers. Also, I asked you guys the other day what kind of fall videos you wanted to see, and you guys gave me some great suggestions. I'm going to try my best to make as many of them happen as I can, but I'm not sure how many that will be in the end, because apparently I'm a very slow builder. but I think it would be really fun to do a lot of the suggestions you guys gave, so I'm very excited for that. And today I actually switched out my air freshener to a fall scent, and I have to say it smells absolutely delicious. It's like a glazed donut kind of smell. It's so good. And I also have a pumpkin spice latte, and I am just so ready for the fall. I know pumpkin spice might be generic, but it tastes really good. I guess it depends on where you get it from, but for me, I personally love pumpkin spice, especially during fall. I feel like it's just a staple. This is essentially going to be the only two roof pieces we have. Maybe I should work on the roof swatches after I add in all the wallpaper, because otherwise I might not pick something that matches well. But for this top part, we're gonna pick this wallpaper from Businesses and Hobbies because I actually want to use one of the roof details from Businesses and Hobbies, and they have matching swatches. So I was thinking this one. There's also this curved one, but I feel like this one matches what I'm going for a little bit better. I'm gonna try to merge it into the wall a little bit so it's not completely sticking out, and then we can just pick the yellow swatch that matches that. And then I want to put a trim underneath so that it's a little more polished off. I'm thinking just this base game one. Also realizing the walls are a little bit too high, so I'm going to bring that down a touch. And that way it kind of lines up with the actual roof detail a little bit better. We also need to change the actual wall trim. I'm just going to switch it to white so it matches. And then we'll repaint that and add our trim back in. I wanted to put this kind of wood paneling that looks a little more beat up on this side bit here, because I was thinking it'd be cute if they tried to add an extension and just never got around to really finishing the exterior of it. Like, I feel like they've maybe tore down the wall on the inside to give more space, but they maybe either ran out of budget or just forgot to keep working on it, so it's just kind of a little run down on the outside, but I think it adds an extra bit of charm, which I really like, so we'll go with that. I might put the trim here as well, but I was also thinking of using the one from high school years in like this yellow color, because I thought it might tie in the yellow from up here, or at least help it stand out more, because right now it looks a little more like a kind of cream color. But what we really need is these items from Get Famous. So basically we have these old cinema looking wall sculptures. It comes with this light one here, and then also one that might display the movie names. So we're going to use that. We're also going to put this one on the side here. Also realizing I wanted this to be a medium wall height because this takes up so much space. So we'll have it like that, and I think that looks super sweet. And then I want to put a bunch of movie posters down here, which again we're going to find from Get Famous because that's just like a celebrity slash movie themed pack. So I'm going to make use of that. Yeah, these ones here. And then I'm thinking we'll probably have space for 3, and then we can put a door right here. I want some kind of retail looking double door. Honestly, think base game might have some good ones, like maybe this one. Ooh, or even this one actually. I like that this one looks like you just push it so it feels very retail. The other option would be like this one from For Rent. I really love the metal grate over this. I wish that we kind of had the metal grate as a standalone object if it was listed as like a curtain or something, so you could put it over like any type of door. Because I wish this had windows, and I don't really think I can add a window to the door and have it be functional, so we're not going to use this one as much as I like the look of the grate over it. That one's a bit too residential. We're going to try this one. Ooh, and it even comes in a red swatch, so that will be perfect. I might shift it over one, or I could even center it, I guess, and have posters on either side, but I want to have this spot here be the ticket booth, so I was thinking it'd make sense if the posters were closer to the ticket booth so you could easily glance over and see which one you wanted to look at. In terms of which movie posters we select, I really like this one. I like the design of it. There's this one. It's giving the F1 movie. I like that one too. A vampire one could be cool. Ooh, I like the dragon as well. I'm gonna try, I think, this one. I want it to feel like there's a little bit of mystery in these movie posters because there is supposed to be a like underlying mystery in this save file. What that is, I have not figured it out still, but I'm going to pick something soon and, you know, dot details around. But I think those three match the color scheme and the mood of this town, so we'll go with that. Then I want some windows up here. I was also going to put windows on this side, which I think were maybe going to be these ones, in which case I wouldn't use them here. Maybe I could put... Are these ones a bit too detailed, maybe? What if I put these ones over there, and then this gets the generic windows? I also think I'm going to need to raise the half wall height on here because the windows aren't sitting quite right. Also, in case you're wondering, this is not going to be like a functional top floor. I just wanted there to be a bit of extra height to match the cinema and whatnot, but I didn't want to put anything residential in here, so that's why I'm just filling it in with the platform. So it's going to look like there's something up here, but you can't actually go in or up these stairs, so just need to raise that to the same height. Okay, I think that'll be nice there actually. I do want to put in a roof piece on here, which I kind of forgot about, so we'll do that. I don't know if I picked the right one for that, but I think it'll work. It's got the correct amount of sides, so we'll try that. And there also is the option to make some of these gray. I feel like gray windows is pretty common if you want it to feel a little more realistic, so I could try that, but we'll come back to that and see. I also wonder if these posters are a bit high or not, but we can adjust that after. Okay, for wallpaper on this side, I wanted to use werewolves. I could do a yellow to kind of match this one. I think the red would be too harsh and kind of distract from the cinema on that side. The blue's pretty nice. Oh, I like the subtlety of the wood on this one. Let's try this teal color. It also kind of reminds me of Luke's. I'm not trying to exactly mimic any homes, or not mimic, but copy any homes from actual 2000s drama series. I just want it to feel inspired by that kind of aesthetic. So I'm not sure there will be any that are like direct copies because I still want it to be my own ideas and my own builds, just influenced by the aesthetic of the 2000s drama series. So this won't be Luke's Diner, but it might be inspired by Luke's Diner. But I need to put some kind of flooring up here that's industrial. I think maybe I could use the orange one up there. Ooh, or the red might make sense. And then maybe here we could do something more like this. I can't decide if I like the warm tone on this roof or not, so maybe I'll just go back to the gray for now. And then I wanted to put another brick here, but I didn't necessarily want it to be the same brick from this one. Maybe a red brick would be nice, because then we could kind of call back to this over here, unless I need something entirely different. I like the red. I like that it ties in these elements from over here. And then I could do the same blue siding, but I kind of want there to be a bit more diversity in the wallpapers, I guess. I want it to feel like random add-ons were put throughout the years and it wasn't all built at one time, like people have expanded to suit their needs kind of thing. So I'm gonna try this yellow here, again to call back to this top floor on the left. And I think that'll be good for the wallpapers. So now let's try and sort out the roofing. Ooh, I really like the teal roofing on this. I actually think that looks so cool. I didn't know if maybe it'd be too much in combination with the teal wallpaper, but honestly, I'm kind of liking it. There's also this version from Eco Lifestyle, but I think I like the Snowy Escape one better. I'm not sure I'd use that one on this side, unless I used it in a red or something. That would be really pretty, but I don't know if it needs to be that one specifically. We do have red in other roof paints, so we can try it from there. About like a red shingle. I think those ones are definitely too big, but I could try that one. It's just the base game one, but I think it's nice. I don't know if I'll use any of these really cute roof trims because I do want it, like I said, to feel realistic, and I feel like this is maybe too cutesy. Ooh, I say that, but I actually really like this one from For Rent on the side here. It just feels very movie-esque to me, so I feel like we'll go with that. I'm gonna try because I honestly feel like I never use this one because something about this part here just feels unfinished to me, but honestly on this little roof piece I don't mind it, so let's try that. Oh, I think why it feels like a movie to me is because it kind of looks like a popcorn bucket, just like upside down a little bit. Like it has the little prongs and everything, and it's red and white striped, so I think it's kind of perfect. For this roof bit, it's just gonna be metal. I could match the metal that I used on the floor here. I think I'd almost prefer a gray though. Ooh, or something like this from Get Famous that looks very unfinished. Or even this metal. You know what? I'm going to try it with the yellow. I know it's a little bit extreme. Wait, actually, maybe I should make it more tame. Let me try this blue, but I think either way this looks nice and worn. I could try that. I need to add the actual roof trim to these. I could try it with this blue color. It matches pretty identical, or I could do a white trim. Or like this beige. I feel like matching the color makes sense for this one, so we can try that. Okay, already I think this looks so adorable, and I like how much variety there is in everything, like in terms of shapes, wallpapers, all of that. That's about as far as I got with doing the exterior of this build, like off camera, so now we'll get to figuring out some of the things I didn't plan out. For example, windows. I don't think those are quite the right vibe, a bit too gothic for this. Oh, these windows from Love Struck are really pretty. I like the little diamond details on the side of them, but I don't think the colors are gonna work too well for this, and then it might be getting a little too crazy. We could try these ones from Get Famous. I feel like Get Famous is going to be used a lot in this save file. Or at least on this lot. I don't know. It just has some really cute stuff. I almost want to use this as the ticket booth. Because a little bit to me, it looks like the window's opened right now. Even if that's not necessarily true. I also wonder if there's a way where I could make it look open. But I don't think I can because it's already painted in sort of thing. I could use like one of these ones from Jungle Adventure and try to make some custom sort of window, but I don't think that's gonna work out too well. Like if I do it like that, it looks like the window's ajar a bit, but I think I like the look of this window better from Get Famous, so let's go with that. Then over here, I feel like this would be a really nice area to have a little table inside, so I do want some big windows. I just don't know which big windows. There's these ones from base game. Maybe I match the... Oh wait, this one's nice. I was gonna say maybe I match the windows from Discover University. But again, Get Famous is really speaking to me. I feel like this one looks exactly like one of the ones that we see in Luke's Diner. And for those of you who don't know, Luke's Diner is like the main hangout place in Gilmore Girls, which is a TV show. I feel like maybe that's not as common knowledge as I think it might be. I only know it because I've watched the show probably 5 times over at this point. So sometimes I just say it and assume people know, but in case you don't, that's what I'm referencing. I think that's very nice. I want to find some kind of window for the side there. I'm not sure Get Famous has a matching window to this that I can use, unless this is the matching window. It looks pretty similar and they are the same height. Okay, we'll try that. I am going to raise them up just a bit using the 9 key. I'm going to do it about 2 times. And then we could probably put some planters underneath. I do want some kind of awning. I'm thinking the one from For Rent. I really like this one. It has such pretty swatches. Oh, I guess there's also this one from Lovestruck. I haven't really taken a look at this one yet, but it is quite pretty. I also like that some of the versions look a little grimier than others. That's always a very nice touch that I love. But I don't think any of these are speaking to me for this build specifically. I do like this one if it's the window nice. This one matches that kind of popcorn look that I was going for. Should I put it over here? I think that's too much then if I have it like that, so we won't do that. Let me try... Ooh. I'm gonna do this one, I think. I like the variety that it adds with that kind of orangey color. But I like that the red keeps it consistent with everything else. Should I maybe put a matching one on this side where the door will go for cohesion? Let me actually try to find a door while I'm over here. I was thinking this one from Get to Work. But should I try something else? Oh, there's also this one. We could put one of the businesses and hobbies signs in it too, so you can know if it's open or closed. There's that one. Oh, I could even try this one from businesses and hobbies. Though I don't know if I like any of the color swatches for this build. Oh, the yellow door is cute. Okay, I'm gonna go with one of those glass ones that I was looking at. There's the base game version, there's the version from Get to Work. Well, there's actually 2 versions from that. Maybe I'll make it base game. I don't know if I want it in a different swatch. I feel like we have a lot going on already that I should probably just keep it white. I realized that this little sculpture item had gravel as the roofing, so I actually decided to do that up here. Because I am thinking that this is going to be a little teen hangout spot on the roof here. And I need to bring this item to the back as well. Yeah, I want to have some kind of ladder that comes up to here, and then we can have like sofas, maybe a couple of activity items. For the roof, I'm kind of thinking the top of Karen's Cafe from One Tree Hill. That's the general vibe I thought for that. I want there to be like one core hangout spot in this save file, but I'm not sure if it's going to be the cinema or not. If I'm going to do this roof thing up here, it might as well be, but I was also kind of thinking it could be the cafe. Also just kind of adjusting the sidewalk paint, I guess. Well, it's platform paint, but it looks like a sidewalk in this scenario. I guess I also need to put in windows on the other side of the buildings. I won't do too many up here. I know that the actual movie rooms are going to be on this side, so that kind of works out, but that means that I can't really put any windows on this back side, so I'll have to find something to do with that. I could put one here with how I'm going to do the hallway. Oh, hello bird. But aside from that, I wouldn't really add anything else. I also want to put some kind of fire escape on the side here. I could probably make my own actually. And then maybe you could even use that as how your Sims get up to this top floor here. But I definitely would need to play around with that because I'm not sure if there's going to be enough space for it. Alright, so I actually sorted out the fire escape just quickly off camera. Originally I was going to have it be a debug item, but I think having it be the functional way to get up here makes a lot more sense than having to go in through the cinema. And this way it can be maybe a bit more discreet, like maybe the owners don't know. Though how they wouldn't know there's like teens on the top of their roof, I'm not sure, but we don't need to question that. But with that sorted, I think that's all right for this building, maybe with the exception of the bottom part here. But again, I was going to have these be the bathrooms, so maybe I'll just put a lot of landscaping back here and forget about the windows. We could also put a couple of other little details like drain pipes and stuff to fill up the space a bit better. I'm just going to repeat these windows onto the back. I mean, you can put one kind of accent window above the door here just for a bit of extra pizzazz. There could be this one. That one's maybe too small. That one. None of these are the exact size that I'm looking for. Ooh, what about this one? Okay, I think that's sweet, so we'll do that one. For the back here, maybe I'll just repeat the windows that I used at the front. Or should I make them the same as up top? I think back here was going to be like kitchen area, so I may end up deleting those. On the side here, I think really big windows would be nice as well, but I don't know if I want to keep like repeating these windows. I kind of wanted these ones to feel like accent windows, I guess, and not the commonly used ones. Though I guess this on its own is kind of an accent bump out, so maybe it doesn't matter too much. Okay, I've decided on these Discover University windows, at least for now. I don't know if now we have too many different types of windows, but I'll try to add in all my other details and then revisit them if I'm still not happy with it. But I think that covers all the windows and doors that I want for the time being. If that changes, I'll add them, but I want to work on some of the roof detailing here. We have these kind of roof ducts from Get Famous that I can add. I think it'll work well on this one. I don't know if I'll put it up here or not. There's two versions of it. I think the smaller one might fit better. And then we can have these little end pieces. But instead I was thinking of using this basegame one because I feel like it's got a little bit more detail. And I like the addition of this pipe here, so we'll use that. It just only comes in this one swatch for both of those, so we're a little limited there. Also, I'm looking out my window right now and I keep seeing movement, and I swear there's like squirrels and chipmunks loitering around my window, and it's so funny because every now and again I just see a bushy tail go past the window. Oh my gosh, I'm literally staring at the chipmunk right now. I'm distracted, but anyways, for the roofing, I think this will be good unless I have like too many things now. Maybe I could put this, I don't even know what this is, roof vent on top of the sculpture. Ooh, I think I like that just for a bit of extra elements there. And maybe a chimney, though I don't know if that makes the most sense. The one off of the back here would be very cute, I think. I'm gonna try this one from Discover University. Surprise, surprise. Okay. And for this one, I guess we could try adding the roof ducts just for extra interest, because otherwise it's like just gonna be the teen hangout spot. And I still do want it to feel realistic, so we will have those. I'm gonna do it in a way that kind of just blocks off this section here, so there's only so much to decorate for the teen hangout space. Maybe I should put a water heater or something up here. We have this one from Lovestruck that I was thinking about. Even in a more worn swatch too. So I'm gonna add that up there, and then over here will be the hangout spot. Also, something happened to my roof trim here. I think it's because I added trim to the fire escape, so I have to fix it on this side as well. Also, in case you're wondering how I place it on just one side, basically you just hold shift while you click, and then that way you can be more precise with your placement instead of it going around the whole entire room, if you don't want it around the whole entire room. Okay, next I feel we need a drain pipe. I could use the ones from Get to Work, or not Get to Work, sorry, Get Together, which are okay, but my true love lies in the ones from Businesses and Hobbies, so we'll go with that. The chipmunk is back. Do you guys think it's Alvin or Theodore or Simon? And I'll put them in the teal on this side to tie in the diner over here. And then on the diner itself, we could go with maybe the more beige color swatch, because it's still a bit rusty, but it also adds a bit of contrast. And I also want to put in the kind of scuffs and scrapes, like the wall decals that make it look like things are chipped in places. So I'm going to put those around as well. I want a mix of them, but I do really want some on this here where the stucco is, because it looks a little plain to me right now. Added all of the kind of wall details off camera just because there was so many. So I just did it quickly off screen. And I also added a couple of pipes and stuff to fill in where there isn't windows exactly. And I also added this security door from Strangerville, I believe, back here, because I'm gonna have this be like the staff room slash where they maybe keep their money, so I think it'd probably be a little bit more well guarded. And yeah, I mainly just added it to the cinema because this wallpaper is already so detailed that I didn't really feel it needed much more. Let's try and figure out perhaps landscaping now, because I think we should bring in some trees. I do want to take from this surrounding area, so there's like a lot of oak trees and a couple of these smaller ones, which I think are birch trees, beech trees, not birch trees. So we could try a couple of these maybe in the front even, but the bigger ones will have to be in the back. Oh, but I also do want to add a whole bunch of pine trees to this world. So I'm going to do that as well, even if I don't see them in the surrounding areas. So maybe we could do like a pine tree there, though I prefer a darker green, though I do really like the texturing on that one. I was thinking I'd probably end up using the ones from Werewolves because those are probably my favorite trees in game. This birch tree would be pretty too. I could even do it in like an orangier color to bring in the fall vibes a little bit. Like, don't these trees just look so majestic? I love them. I'm gonna put this one, maybe I'll shrink this one down. I think that one's a bit tall. So maybe I'll shrink this down and put it here where there's no windows. Kind of like in that corner. Yeah, I think the dark green has better contrast with that tree in the back there. I also really like this one. Those are a bit too similar in height to be right beside each other, so I'll move it around. I like this one back here, I think, unless it's a little short. I think the birch tree is good. I think this takes up too much real estate to be in the front. So I'll have to decide between a couple of these other trees instead. This one definitely takes up less space, but I like the look of this one better. I feel like I could find a way to fit that one over here. Doesn't even need to be on the concrete, so that's good. I guess I should also figure out placement for cars and stuff if I want to have a parking lot. And I also think that would involve me switching out some of the paint here to more of like a tarmac. And then if we could find some kind of yellow floor paint, we could make the actual markings in a parking lot. But I may also just go with some kind of wall decal instead, because I feel like the spacing is going to be a little uneven. I have it like that, unless do it. Let me find an actual car to make sure I have the spacing right. Yeah. So they're decently large. Yeah, would probably have to be like this. And then that one wouldn't even fully fit. I don't know if that's kind of weird, but then it's like you have parking for the diner and the cinema, so it could work. But I'll probably mess around with that a bit more off camera, just because I think it's one of those things I'm going to be really indecisive about. For the landscaping, there's really not much we'll need to do for it. I'm thinking a couple of these hedges, maybe on the edge there. I'd like to have a fence going along this back part if this is going to be parking. Something like that. But I think debug fence would work best so that we can have it be on the same height even though there's a platform, and we can have it go all the way to the edge of the lot. Oh, maybe this stone one is better. It feels a little more commercial lot. Okay, yeah, I think that's much better. We could maybe even use it at the front here to help section off the sidewalk from the parking lot as well. There's even a big piece which will work. Oh, I think the size of it is actually perfect. Like, it matches the length exactly. I'll just put like one pillar here, and then I can add a bush to polish that off. Actually, I'm gonna make it one shorter so that it looks like your Sims could actually drive the car up here and park. Maybe the parking lot should be one wider. Okay, I think that looks more realistic. I'm not sold on this as the floor paint, but just as a general layout that'll work. I found this low-lying yellow fence from Strangerville that I could use to mark out the parking lots, though I am having a bit of issues with the spacing because it doesn't appear to be even. And I don't know if I kind of do it like this, but then I don't like how close it is to this sidewalk. But if I do it anymore, then it's completely off-centered with the door. I guess I could move the door over a little bit and maybe space out the posters, which actually does look kind of nice. So I guess maybe we solved that problem. But I am gonna tweak the fence a little bit more. And then we can have the parking be like that. And then I haven't even seen what it might be like on this side. Hopefully not too bad. Do one there, and then one like that. I just can't have it on this other side because it won't fit unless I do it like this. This would make this side a lot smaller, but I could do the thing because sometimes you see diagonal lines like this, meaning you can't park there. So maybe this is a no parking spot, and then we could put bikes on this corner. I don't know if it's on a residential, or not a residential, if it's on a community lot, I'm pretty sure your Sims would be able to use these. But I'm not 100% on that, so maybe don't quote me, but it at least looks cute. And then we can find some kind of like bike post, I guess, to make it look like they're tied to that. Also, I am going to switch out the cars. Those are just placeholders for now, but I'll need to find kind of debug item that works for that. I know we have one. I'm envisioning it in my head. I just don't know where exactly it is. Like we have these little individual posts. Not exactly what I was thinking. Maybe something more like these ones from Horse Ranch. And then we can just pretend that you could tie your bike to that. Even though I think it's meant to be those things that like stop cars from going onto the pathway. But we can pretend that they're meant to tie your bikes up to. Oh wait, I guess it comes with like a fence version too. We do something like this. Okay, this base game one is actually what I was thinking of. So we're gonna go with this, and then you can pretend that you could like tie up your bikes to it. So I'm just gonna make it look like maybe some of the bikes are slotted in here. This, and then maybe we could even find one of these smaller ones that the kids can use from Growing Together. That one's pretty cute, and we'll put it with this one. And this way there's a bike from almost every pack, so that if you don't have one of the packs that comes with like this type of bike, you might have it that comes with this type of bike. Okay, if that's the case, I'm gonna remove the fence on that side because I don't think we really need it. And then that's the little parking lot once we add in different types of cars. I feel like I have to put a green Jeep in honor of Lorelai Gilmore because she's consistently at the diner getting her coffee, so I'm gonna put that in there. I guess her Jeep is a little bit more beige, but we're gonna go with this one because it's as close as I'll get. Guess we could also put a truck in honor of Luke. Though, which of these trucks is most like his? I guess this one actually, because isn't his truck green? Pretty sure it is. Okay, what if I did the yellow Jeep then and a green truck? Put the Jeep there and the truck will go here. Actually, vice versa, because the Jeep's a little bit taller. Truck. And a little red car over here would be really cute. Oh, I could do a red convertible in honor of Peyton. Or is her convertible black? I thought it was red. I'm talking about Peyton from Wintry Hill. If I can remember, I'll try to put like photo references of the cars that I'm talking about. Ooh, I'm gonna use this truck instead. This looks more like his truck, just not exactly in his color. Maybe I'll even do the black just for like a bit more subtlety in the colors. And then we have Peyton's convertible here. And then I'm gonna leave one parking space empty just so it feels maybe more realistic. Though if you wanted to, you could add in another. I don't know which of these looks more like Peyton's car. I feel like maybe it's actually this one, but we'll go with this. I like this collection of colors. So I paused the recording so I could sort out like the parking lot and stuff, and then I accidentally ended up completing the whole entire exterior. It was a lot of like scrolling and searching, so I don't think it would have been too interesting anyways, but I'll just give you a little tour now. I left this kind of back part open so that the teens could get up to the top there. And the landscaping is like very loose and rough. I just tried to match the exterior items like outside of the lot. But I think it came out so cute. I'm genuinely so happy with this. I think this might be one of my new favorite builds that I've done. I just love how unique it looks and like quirky for lack of a better word, and just how much charm it has. I think the twinkly lights and all the plants and stuff, especially like this little bit of ivy, really help make it. I did the floor plan with like flooring and wallpaper as well. So this will be the cinema side. We're gonna have the employee area, the concession stand, bathrooms, and then kind of the entrance area. And then on the right side we have the diner, so we'll have a space for like a coffee bar and little seats, and then we'll also have a small kitchen and a small bathroom back here. Then on the top floor it's going to be just kind of like hallway, and then we'll have 2 theaters. Okay, so we're going to start on the cinema. If you wanted it to be a actual functional business, if you have businesses and hobbies, I'm going to put in these little kiosks from businesses and hobbies, and then that way you can actually charge your Sims an entrance fee to, you know, have them come in and use this facility. And I was thinking that it also just kind of looks like those little ticket booths where you would go in a normal movie theater to like show them your ticket, and then they kind of rip the end of the stub and then your permitted entrance. So I'm hoping this is enough space, like if I push them together, but I may have to do just the one. But I think it could be nice like that, unless we tuck it off to the side and then this part's kind of clear. But I think we'll have it in the center. And then on this wall here, I wanted to put a whole bunch of movie posters as a like what's playing. We have the 3 on the outside, but I'm thinking those are more like features. And then on the inside could be other things. Though I kind of guess there's only like 2 theaters in this actual build, so I don't know why they would have so many movie posters displayed, but maybe it's like things that are upcoming or something. I could do something like this. I was also thinking, as like a nod to the little arcades that you can find in theaters usually, I was thinking we could put the button basher, which we got from Get Together. Could maybe act as like a makeshift little arcade thing. I don't know how much space we'll have though. I guess I could move around the posters. I don't need this many, but I don't know if it's gonna like make the space too cramped, but we'll have to see. Okay, let me just figure out the layout a little bit better. There's also so many different swatches. That's really fun. I didn't know there's so many. This yellow one, perhaps it looks a bit more beat up. I could do this, and then we'll put like 3 posters on the inside. Oh yeah, I also have these exit signs from Get to Work that I wanted to put above the doors. I also wonder if maybe I should put like a door out here for easier access to the staircase, like an emergency door. What would those look like? Kind of like this, no? Well, I guess not exactly. This is more like a trailer door. But I want one of those ones with like the metal bar across it that you push. But it says like emergencies only or alarm will sound, like those kinds of things. Maybe we could use this one if I put it in like some kind of redder swatch, maybe. Something like that. I'm not sure. We'll play around with it. But back to the main floor, we have the button basher, we have our movies, and then I think all of that should be functional. For this little concession stand, I wanted to take some counters. I was thinking these base game ones honestly would be kind of our best option, because they come in that like white and red color scheme, which feels very classic old movie theater. I don't know if they actually need to be island counters though. Maybe they could just be regular counters. But I was thinking maybe to make it feel a bit more like there's drinks and stuff that they could get, like pops and stuff, you know, the way there's like fountain drinks. I was thinking maybe we could actually put in a bar or something, or a boba tea counter. I was thinking that way we could have like a bit of variety with what your Sims can buy here. I don't want to put a coffee bar because I'll use that next door, but I was thinking this one from Island Living would be really cute because it has this slushy mixer on the side, which I thought was very fitting, and I really like the twinkly lights. So I might try that, but if you guys want to switch it out for the boba tea, like by all means go ahead, because I am going to have a bar in this save file as well. So this may be overkill a little bit, but I'm gonna try it out for now, and then if I decide I want to switch it later I can. It It does mess with my lighting a little bit though. Okay, maybe something like that. It's a bit more tropical on the bottom than I would like, but it's from Island Living, so that makes sense. Alternatively, we have this one from Strangerville, but it doesn't come with like the slushy stand, which is mainly the whole reason I want to use this one. Nothing's really topping the slushy machine on this one, so I think I'm gonna roll with it and just embrace it. And we can add some other things to the back here. There's not many kitchen appliances that I think would be applicable. I don't even have the popcorn maker from movie night stuff, so I can't add that in. I could put in the candy maker though from Businesses and Hobbies, and maybe you could get like your candies from that. I could also add like a stand mixer and stuff, but that's not really helpful. I have a fountain drink. Maybe I could put in like a kettle. I feel like these are kind of like random things, but I guess we could also put in a microwave. And I really like the retro looking one. Okay, that's cute that I can get all of them in like a similar-ish color scheme. I'm gonna maybe go with yellow just to contrast all the red that we have happening. And then I'd like some kind of maybe menu board at the back. Oh, I feel like putting these things from Get Famous would be good because they're meant to be like old movie props that are now being framed and stuff. Maybe we'll try this one. Wait, what if it's like the lore for this town is that there's maybe secretly aliens or something? And or like this town is big into believing in aliens, and like all of these places have like artifacts that prove that aliens lived here or something. That might be a little more like goofy than I think I was planning to do for this kind of build, but it still could be fun. Or not necessarily this build, but the whole save file, I mean. But maybe we could make it like slightly spookier and do it with a different occult. Like we could do vampires if we wanted to go with like the Vampire Diaries route or something. But I didn't really know if I wanted to go occult in the save file. Like I was kind of thinking it would be more of like a realistic kind of thing. Maybe we could put this giant like fork and spoon. Oh, a fire extinguisher would be good. Is this meant to be a sign? I think that's the sign for like the outside of your business. Oh, we can try this one from Discover University. Or truthfully, this could be better suited in the diner. I've kind of already stacked some things over there that I want to include, but maybe we could use this swatch for in here. I mean, it definitely fills up the space really nice. I guess alternatively, we have this one. The pretzels are pretty cute. Maybe I'll do this just so it's not so repetitive with the place next door. I feel like it might be helpful to have a sink in here. Oh, I also think if we're gonna have like the candy maker and stuff, do we need an extra counter so that it's actually functional? I should probably test that out. Anything I'm not certain on, I'll test it out after the fact, and if you notice a change later on, or like once it's on the gallery, then that would be why. But for now, I'm just gonna leave it. So I'm gonna put an open sign somewhere here, maybe down that side. Maybe I could just put this extra base game chalkboard. That's maybe just different menu items. And then I think I'll put some string lights as well, because I feel like that's a requirement in absolutely every area of the save files, so I'm going to add those. Maybe Those ones are a little bit big. What if I did just the base game star ones? Or the ones from the holiday pack? Or these flip-flops? Flip-flops are really random, so maybe I won't do that. Let's do... Where is it? Oh, even these are pretty big, but we can size them down and then adjust the chalkboard. Put the chalkboard there and there. All right. Do we need some kind of sink? I mean, it might be helpful, but I guess I'll just leave it with these things. I also don't know if there's other clutter that I should put on top of the counters. So I will have to peruse through that and see if I can find any good commercial clutter. We could add this little spice rack as though it's like different popcorn toppings. Maybe they just have to make their popcorn in the microwave because it is like a smaller venue, though I would think that's probably not the most efficient way to do it if you're trying to run a business, but I guess we could also add these. Be kind of cute if I made my own like popcorn topping area, but I don't think we'll quite have the space for it, so I'm just gonna leave it to this section alone. Okay, so I pulled out a big amount of kitchen clutter and we're just going to kind of lay it out accordingly. I want to make sure it doesn't clip with any of my main items. I think having stacks of like these containers would be pretty realistic, as though it's like stuff they use for the candy making or just for popcorn. I'm gonna try to layer them like that with different heights. I guess I can do it like that since they stack instead of shrinking it down and messing with the width of it. And then we just have to change all of the color options. Maybe it's like extra popcorn or something. Or I do the colorful versions and then it's stuff for the candy. We'll do a mix like that. I like it with the seasoning rack as well. Then we also have these jars. But again, I want to make sure nothing's clipping with the candy machine, which it would appear things are. So I'm going to have to merge everything back a little bit. Okay. Let me clear out some of this stuff. We'll push the spice rack over and then do 2 of these jars, I think. And we'll do colorful things again. Even though those ones are a bit more descript in terms of what you can see, but we'll just pretend it's like stuff to make the candy or to put in the slushy mix. And I also have some lemons. I'm not entirely sure why, but I don't know, it felt like they would work. I guess a scale could work as well. I think the more organized it looks in an area like this, the more it feels kind of commercial and less residential, because it looks like everything has a place, and like when they clean up at night they put it back in said place. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. But as a little concession area, I think that's adorable. I'm going to put the hand sanitizer and paper towel over there, and I'll put this over here by the door. And I also realize I need a door for the office over here. Maybe I could use this one from Get Famous. Between the Get to Work, Get Together, and Get Famous, I can never get the pack names right, which is why it takes me such a long time to figure out what they are. Oh, also I switched out this door because I wanted to add the dumpster for like extra activities, and so that's why that door has changed. I may even use this one, but then just rotate it so that you don't see the same sign on each side. I think I was gonna add one more counter over here, just as like the employees only kind of section. And then what I was gonna do is take a fence. I was kind of thinking this businesses and hobbies one because I like the gate that it comes with, and then this can be like the employees only gate. And that way you can lock it so that none of your Sims will walk through if they're not an employee. I could also put some bar stools here if I wanted, though I don't think it's kind of common to like sit at the concession area, but maybe we'll put it in anyways. Then we have the button basher. And I guess that's kind of good for this section here. I mean, it is a commercial area, so there's really not much else I could add. I want to move on to the little staff area now because this will be like the little ticket booth and also the staff lounge. I think we should put in a little mini fridge over here. Maybe this one from Discovery University. I like the stickers on it. Also makes me wonder if I needed a fridge out there, but I guess if you really need it, like your Sims can come in here and grab it. And beside that, I'd love if we had some kind of water cooler looking thing, but we don't. So I guess the next best thing that dispenses water will be a sink. So we could add in that. I don't know if it's kind of weird in here. Maybe I'll just put a trash can instead. Oh, maybe I'll use the one from the basement kit that actually looks like a fake plant. If I can find it though. Oh, it's right here. Okay. I like that. And then here I wanted to have a desk or some sort of counter. Honestly, I mean, I just grabbed this high school years one, but I honestly really like it. We could even put two together, but maybe just the one makes sense. And then I wanted to put a microphone so that it looks like they can talk through this and, you know, take people's orders. Okay, I don't really know what this is, but does it kind of look like a microphone? I was gonna put in like the actual microphone. Maybe I'll put in both and then you guys can kind of decide which you would prefer. We have so many different ones now, but I think I'll go with the businesses and hobbies one because it looks the oldest to me. And I'll just put that in the corner. And then if your Sims actually want to use it, they can. But you'll probably have to move it from this position if you want it to be functional. I was even thinking I can size it down and just put it here. So maybe I'll do that instead. I need something on the side here that'll act as like the little button that you would like push so you're talking, basically. Oh, I think maybe we could use some kind of electronic, like some sort of speaker. And if we size it down, maybe it'd look like that's how you control the microphone. I'm gonna take this speaker from Backyard Stuff and I'm just gonna lower it into the table. And then that way, if we play around with the mic placement, it looks like they could push this or this and talk through the window. And then I need to find some kind of ticket. I think we'll need debug for that. We have this. I don't know what this is. Oh, it's like a microscope slide. Not exactly what I need. Good to have a pen for sure. I think it'd be fun if one of the Sims in my save file or in the core group for my save file worked here. Or maybe it's like their family business and that's why they're allowed to like hang out on the roof because the owner is their parent, so they don't really care. Oh, I think this little slip from Cottage Living might be our best bet right now. Can put a bit of money as well. Okay, these are the various things that I found that could work. I think I want to use this one from Cottage Living. I'm gonna find a shelf so that we can actually raise it to the right height if it wants to snap. I'm scared it's not a snappable item, and I would be correct. So that's really annoying because this is such like a thin object that it's gonna be really hard to get the exact height, but that is where the tool mod will come in handy. Though actually, it looks like I got it first try, so that's pretty majestic. I am going to elevate this one ever so slightly so it stops glitching with that, but we can pretend those are the tickets then. And I guess I'll also put some money here because it makes sense. Oh, you know what we need though is a cash register. I don't think it actually matters if you're doing this as a businesses and hobbies lot to have a cash register, but I at least like the look of it. So I'm going to put that over here by the concession stand. I think it would also make sense on this, but then I'll need a counter. So I guess we'll just leave it out there, and then all of this can be done by hand. Oh, you know what? We even have that little clutter object from the Everyday Clutter Kit that has a little like jar of money. Yeah, this one. I'm gonna put it in this corner here, like that. These slips also come with businesses and hobbies apparently, so maybe I should use those ones instead since I'm already using so many businesses and hobbies, and then that way you won't be missing anything. This isn't a pack restricted save file, but I do still like to be a little bit mindful of like packs per build, I guess. So if you download the whole thing and you don't have every pack, there's a chance you'll be missing a decent chunk of objects. But for a lot like this that people might want to download outside of the save file, then I want it to not have every pack known to man. Okay, so there I have the ticket slips. And I guess I could put just like one other jar here. Okay, I actually think that's a really cute setup. I think I really like how I did the mic setup. That feels pretty clever if I do say so myself. And then for chairs, I guess we could do like a matching one, but I almost feel like it'd be better if they weren't matching. Ooh, like this one from Love Struck would be really good. Perfect. And then I kind of just wanted to throw in a couch over here, just as like where the staff might sit when they're on break or something. Honestly, this one feels kind of accurate, but this feels more like I should use that for the movie seating. But in the staff room, I'm not even sure. Maybe this one? This is from Backyard Stuff. Ooh, what about this one from Businesses and Hobbies instead? I can even pick the one with like the really cracked leather. And I will also put a lamp in here. Again, something a bit dingier looking. So I think I'll use, this is a base game one, but I'm going to use the version from City Living so that we can have it look like there's a little bit of extra grime on there. And I wonder if there's like another skill item we should put in here or something. Because they could play chess on their free time. I mean, in my experience, break rooms don't really have much anyway. So honestly, the emptier maybe the better. When I used to work at a grocery store, our break room was just a table and chairs. So this could be just fine. Maybe put a rug in though, just to fill up the space a little more. Maybe this worn one from Get Famous. Do this and then some sort of chair. A comfier chair though. Maybe just like a beanbag chair. You put that opposite here. This would be like really distracting if people are trying to sit in here and like go on break. but then you have to do your job still of like distributing tickets. That low-key seems like a little bit of a nightmare. But it's okay, because it's just The Sims, it's not real. Oh, actually, you know what? Instead of doing that chair, we're going to put, there's like this little magazine rack that we got from Get to Work. I think would fit this spot perfectly. Maybe we could just put another movie poster in here as well. Just for decor. Put the superhero one, I guess. We could put a corkboard as well. Oh, and maybe even the stack of boxes in case you wanted to decorate this for the seasonal time. And a space heater, just for effect. And honestly, that's going to be good for this little break room area. Alright, so we're going to start on this theater first. I actually made it a little bit bigger because I think it'll fit the spacing better. Also, these lights are temporary. It's going to be a lot moodier like this. I'm even going to keep the string lights because I just think it's too cute not to. But for starters, we need a screen. We could go, I think this one is, sorry, this one from City Living is too modern. There's this more like projection screen from Get Famous, which I like. Or there's just like normal TVs. I'm leaning a little more towards these projection ones just because it feels, I don't know, it feels more like homey, I guess. And then in terms of seating, I'm going to do a mix and match of different sofas and stuff and chairs. I realize this may not be for everyone, but I'm going for the vibe of the Stars Hollow movie theater where it's just like a bunch of different chairs and sofas put together to feel, or like to give better seats, because it's kind of like a theater that's built into a home. And so instead of doing a full like every seat is the same, I'm gonna do a little combination. But I'm gonna try to keep everything in like a warmer color scheme just so that it feels a little bit cohesive still, because I don't want it to feel too chaotic, but I definitely do want it to feel cozy. So I am gonna have quite the mix of chairs. I want to use the ones from Werewolves as well because they actually look like old movie seats. It literally says theater-esque chair, so I definitely think we have to put in a couple of those. I'm also gonna toggle my grid on to make sure it's relatively functional. I might use this swatch of this one. That definitely looks a bit more textured and run down. I wish like this whole sofa was textured like this because these just look fake, but this one has like a nice texture to it that seems a bit more believable than the other ones. So I could try that. I mean, I'm pretty sure this is meant to be a theater seat, but I don't love it too much. I'll try this one for businesses and hobbies instead. I'm just gonna switch up some of the colors here. Okay, I think that's probably good for the seats there. I guess I'll work back and forth between the two while I have everything open. If this mix and match situation is not for you, by all means, you can go ahead and just delete these sofas and put in ones that match. But I thought I would give this a go. I don't like that sofa. Oh, why don't I try doing like a couple of chairs here? I can bring in this really plush chair. This is from the Basement Treasures kit. Okay, I honestly think that's all we're going to be able to fit. It would be nice in certain spots if I could have some kind of side table for your Sims to put like their drinks and stuff. However, I do not think that's going to be possible with the space that I have. So I don't think your Sims will have anywhere to put their stuff. But maybe that's better because it won't get all like gross in here and you won't have to like clean up after your Sims basically. The only other thing I could think about putting here would maybe be some curtains to frame the TV screen. That could be a fun touch, but let me see if there's any that I particularly like. Ooh, the businesses and hobbies ones do seem like theater curtains. I'm thinking this TV is a little bit big, so I'm actually going to size it down one and raise it up a little bit. Like that. And then the curtains, honestly, I like this deep red a lot. So I think I'll do that. Oh, we could try this little curtain from Cats and Dogs. Maybe in this red swatch. I feel like that's really cute. The scale still isn't quite right though, so let me try and mess around with that a bit more. Alright, so I got rid of the overhead lighting and I added in these movie posters kind of cascading down because that way it gives you the illusion of elevated steps, which is how movie theaters are here, at least in Canada. So I thought that was kind of a fun touch, and then of course added some more fairy lights because they're super cute. But the last thing I wanted to do was put console tables because I was thinking that we could put in maybe some electronics like speakers and stuff, because I guess you would need to hear the movie. So maybe I could actually put this wall speaker. I feel like this one would be fun because it kind of looks like it could be the projector almost, especially if I put it in this white color. Whoa, that's perfect. And then we'll just put these lights over here. Projector can go there, and then the projector will be there. But I was thinking for on top of here we could put a gaming console so that if your Sims wanna, you know, use this place for video games, they could. I could even put a karaoke machine. Maybe I'll add that in the corner. I'm also a little bit tempted to add these speakers. I think these are from high school years, but I like them for the look of this. So we'll have karaoke machine in one corner, speakers in the other, and then on here we will put, oh, I guess even just doing like this sound system below would be nice. What if one of these whole rooms was actually just a karaoke bar? I don't think I'm gonna do that, but that definitely could be an option for something. Maybe I'll put karaoke somewhere else. But I think it would be very annoying if you're trying to watch a movie over here and then you could hear karaoke coming from the other side. So we won't do that. I am gonna put another speaker over here though. And then I will repeat the console table. I won't put a karaoke machine in that one, but I will put some sort of gaming console over here. Okay, here's all the gaming stuff. I don't know if these ones are any different or if they just look different. So maybe I'll put them both just to be safe. And we'll put another one on this corner as well. And I guess we could put like a plant or something. I wouldn't want there to be too much on top of here because I don't really want to distract your Sims from whatever they're watching. Okay, I actually decided to just do a couple of CDs and records, and then same on this side, except I sized the CDs up to look like more records. And I think that way it'll feel like it relates to the build a bit better instead of just like a random plant that I don't think people would really upkeep in this kind of movie theater. So I think that's good for the theaters themselves. So now I'll just work on the community areas off camera and then we'll move to the diner. This is our cute little diner. I'm using this flooring, which is just this base game tile actually that we got kind of recently. I didn't think I liked this tile, but I have just now discovered some of the cuter color options of it, and I really like this orange terracotta color, especially in combination with like this gingham and the blue paneling, which is just base game. So for this, I've kind of already pulled out some items. I have this bar back from Strangerville, which I think suits this so perfectly, especially if I'm going for that Luke's Diner feel. So I want to put that in combination with this menu board that we took from earlier. I do want like a darker wood framing though. And then I also want a coffee bar, which is from Get Together. We also have some that come with businesses and hobbies actually, but those look far too fancy and modern for this. I just want something nice and simple. I believe we have 2 options for the coffee bars from Get Together, but I could be completely wrong. Oh, okay, so basically we have one version that comes without the espresso stuff, and then we have one that comes with. I think I will use the version that comes with because that seems to make the most sense. Oh, and the turquoise is so adorable. Okay, we are absolutely going to use that one. I'm thinking this is enough space. I mean, it looks like it is just based on where the box is. So we'll have it like that. Then I think your Sims pick up their items. Where do they pick them up from? Is it the side here? I'm not entirely sure, but we're gonna go with this. I don't think I can put bar stools or anything attached to this. No, because yeah, I think that has to be clear so that your Sims can actually get their items. So what we're gonna need over here is a bunch of dining tables. Again, I want to go for more of that mix and match feel that I did with the movie theater. This is very much just my own personal style put into The Sims a little bit, but also a bit of what we see in the TV series as well. Like in Luke's Diner, he has like 7 million different types of tables in the one, but they all work together. So I want to use, I know these are desks, but I feel like these would work perfectly if I'm trying to make it feel a little bit like Luke's Diner, so I could use those. But I was also thinking I can use the retro sort of tables from Eco Lifestyle, and those will work perfect too. I guess I could go with all of them being the teal color, but I thought it might be better to incorporate some other colors here and there. Maybe we'll go with yellow for the desk. We'll go for like a little bit of a primary color scheme. Maybe over here we could have some bigger tables, because those ones right now are just like 2-seaters. I mean, this isn't even a 2-seater. This is for 1 person, so I'm not sure where I'll put that one. But even like putting 2 tables together like this feels pretty accurate to these kind of shows. This is a really big table, but I honestly feel like it would work well. This is from the new kind of battle pass sort of thing that we had. I think it was the Nature's Calling event, and I feel like some of these painted swatches would fit really perfectly. I almost want to use this area as like more of a bar setup, because I do have the bathroom right here, and I feel like realistically you wouldn't want to like gather around a table and like watch people go in and out of the bathroom, so this way they're at least not looking at you. And then I can just line chairs along the back like this, with more variety I would think, but at least maybe for this corner. And then we could have maybe just a smaller set over here, and then something like this. I'm just using these as temporary chairs. I just need to figure out spacing and whatnot. One there, and then maybe a 4-seater over here, which could be a round table maybe, depending on if I like it or not. Okay, that's what the round table looks like, which I think is all right, but I don't know if maybe a rectangle would be better. Let's look at this high sitting one. Then I would have to use bar stools. I actually really like it like that though. I think I prefer that over the circle for sure. This one feels really sad, so I'm not gonna put that one. We'll just put a little 2-seater along this wall. And I think in terms of layout, this is probably good. It seems like your Sims could get around here just fine. Like I have kind of a 1-tile space between all of these. So I'm going to trust in that. So the next step is just going to be to customize everything that I've pulled out that is now a placeholder. I like these wooden tables. I also think, using that wood swatch would be really pretty, but it kind of blends in with the floor, so maybe I'll go with this one, which matches the wood a bit better. This one we could do... we could do the red chairs, but we could also do the mint chairs. I feel like this is not the right shade that I have been using, so maybe I'll go with something else. If we look at other bar stools, what do we have? There's this small one from Businesses and Hobbies. I also think putting a chair on the end could be good because I am imagining the core group to be like 5 or 6 Sims, and I feel like this would be their table. I also have these ones from Lovestruck, or there's that. Oh, maybe it's just these standard ones that look more like diner chairs. Could do some kind of combo of those. Okay, I'll explore those as seating options. So keep accidentally switching out the lighting. That is not my intention. Okay, that could be yellow. This could be the blue color. We could maybe have an orange and a red. Yeah, I think I like how colorful that is. Okay, I think I used that more pink one over there. I have the blue one there, so this could be maybe this kind of blue, or maybe even the brown. I know there is matching chairs for these, so I do want to use some of those. Oops, that's not the right one. We have these. Oh, we don't have any of the matching blue, so I think I'll use the yellow on those ones. I also think I might just change this table altogether to maybe, which one? I could use another high sitting table off in the corner here. Maybe the one we got from high school years. It has color, but the shape of it definitely feels more modern than I'd like. Okay, so I messed around with the combos that I had going for tables and chairs, and this is what I've landed on in the end. I tried to go with teal or yellow or this wooden colored table, and then I would do the opposite colored chair, if that makes sense. And that way I think it feels a lot more cohesive, but we have different styles of chairs and tables to add to that kind of quirky-ish feel, if you will. But now I think it's time we add in all of the cute little clutter and stuff. I also think I do want there to be a couple of like wall markings here and there just to make it feel more realistic. But we need like fairy lights, curtains, different kind of like posters and stuff as well. The other thing I was thinking about is I realized I'm putting in this whole like coffee bar here, but I was planning to have an actual cafe as well. And so now I'm a little bit torn if I'm gonna switch that out for something else or if I'll stick with it. So we'll have to see. If you guys have thoughts on that, let me know. Like if you think having a diner and a cafe is a bit redundant, perhaps I can switch out the cafe for something else. But maybe we could use some of these little cafe pictures. I guess, well, now if I'm having a cafe, I feel like these really aren't going to work. But I didn't think the cafe was going to be in this kind of more almost retro style, I guess. So there still could be a chance for it to be something else. But we can use those over there. I feel like I want the walls to just be covered in artwork. Maybe like some of these from Strangerville would suit this area. I guess this whole kind of wall will be like a gallery wall. Oh, I guess having a diner picture would make a lot of sense. So do like, the canyon doesn't really make sense because it's not in Strangerville, but do the cowboy maybe. You can put in this fruit picture as well. Maybe we could put in this one as well. I don't know, it feels like the most random collection of things right now. Maybe I should split up a couple of these pictures. And And then we can find something smaller for along here. Okay, I need some kind of long ways picture. Maybe I could use the one from basegame. At least I think it's basegame. That's like the kind of architecture plans. Oh yeah, it is basegame. Perfect. I think that would suit. Oh, even in the blue. That's perfect. Okay, and then we'll put one more in this corner. Oh, the art from Get Famous could suit this build very nicely. I'm gonna try this one. I just feel like the square isn't gonna fit the best in that space. What if we put this one over here and then the more square one over here? Okay, I think that's really cute personally, so I'm gonna keep it. The only thing I think it's missing would be some string lights, but we can add those in. I also need to paint the ceiling, I'm realizing, so add that to the list. I'm just debating, do I keep using these debug ones that I found, or do I go with the other ones? The debug ones are just good at covering a large surface. I might try the holiday pack one on this side at least, unless even that doesn't work too well with the pictures. Okay, maybe I'll just use these businesses and hobbies ones on this side, but like just the straight version. And that way we can avoid clipping with the paintings, even though I want them to be perfectly, or no. Doing those string lights just took all my focus. I was trying to say I want them to be droopy because I feel like that's more whimsical. Oh, they completely cut off when you go into this mode. Okay, but I guess we'll have to... Alright, so I put in these straight versions of the businesses and hobbies ones just so that it won't clip with the paintings as much. I definitely prefer the look of like the drooping ones, but sometimes you have to make compromises. So we'll leave that as is. Alright, so you can see here that I have kind of adjusted the layout a little bit. I decided in the end I wanted that kind of counter seating up here, so I did that. I also sized down the espresso bar so that it looks like the espresso machine and whatnot are sitting on top of this bar back, and then this bar back is actually in the basement so that the upstairs is all functional. And I just put the same lighting down here as I did upstairs to match it, and I just raised this up through the basement so the game doesn't think it's on this floor, but it looks like it's on this floor, and that way this is fully functional. Your Sims can get in and out of here. I also tested this. They can get back to the kitchen, so there's no problems there. And in terms of other things, I added this little car light. I also did the bathrooms and the common areas, but we'll look at that in the tour. So now we can just start decorating the actual tables. I did pull out a couple of different items on this one here that I thought could work. I want to use like these condiment ones, even though they're like really large. They're from the backyard stuff pack. But if I just hold them and then size them down, it should be good. We can also look at the other swatches. Oh, I really like that one. That one's really pretty. Okay, maybe we'll try this one over here. I think I'm going to all place some items, but just for now, maybe we can have like a couple of these on each of them. Like maybe we could put this one over here. I like this one because it has menus, whereas the other one does not. But I think this one matches the diner feel really well. And maybe we'll do this one over here too. Then in terms of other drink items, we have this little tea stand from the bistro kit, the kitchen clutter kit, but maybe that's better suited over here. And then I also wanted to put a couple of mugs on these tables to make it look like they've actively ordered. And what's nice about these mugs, which are from the everyday clutter kit, is that they won't go smelly. So instead of using like a debug cup, I can just use these mugs, and then it looks like people are currently drinking here, but it'll never smell when you switch it to live mode. So that's very nice. I might even do like a dirty one on the edge, like maybe it needs to be cleaned up or something. Unless it doesn't look as cute, and I should just go with a normal one. Also, it might be nice to put little candles on all of the tables or little lamps, either or. I guess it depends on what we have space for. I think that the candles would be really cute and make it feel so cozy, but I can also see the lamps being a bit more realistic. I guess it'll depend on which table, because some do not have a lot of space, whereas others have more space. But like a lamp like that, I think I'm just gonna try and put all the decorations on top of the table, and then I'll sort out getting the spacing correct and all of that. That one from For Rent is also really good for this. Ooh, maybe this one from, what pack is this from? Discover University. Maybe I'll put it on this one over here. Ooh, I really like this stained glass one. I'll do it with the yellow flowers there. I'll use the horseradish one. And then I want like 2 mugs on this one. I definitely want mugs over here. I also had this little drink tray, which I thought was cute. So maybe we could put that over here. Or is it maybe better suited over there? And then on this table, I also wanted to put like lots of kind of study stuff and like textbooks and things like that, because I'm thinking this is for like the core group of Sims that I'm gonna revolve the storyline around. I've also kind of figured out a little bit of a storyline I might go with. It'll make more sense when I do the tour, but basically I found like this graffiti, and there's like several versions of it that says like Simsy was here or something, and so I'm thinking either Simsy is like one of the teens, or Simsy's kind of like A from Pretty Little Liars, who like leaves clues and notes and sends like mysterious things, and then the teens go on a search to find like what's going on. So I was thinking it could be a little bit like that, but once again, I'm still not sure. Ooh, I feel like having board games or something would be really cute. I was gonna put some kind of like coffee station over here or tea station, but maybe it should be a bookshelf or something instead. Just so then that way there's like even more things for your Sims to do here. Oh, I could even put a laptop over here. I think, oh wait, that's so cute. Oh, I love that. It looks like they're going to be having like a little study sesh, or in my opinion, I think it'd maybe be more like a mystery solving session. But I wanted like those stacks of books. I think they're not listed under bookshelves though. I think it's like a normal decoration object. Just have to find it. Ooh, a bag just resting at like the foot of a chair or something feels realistic to me, or maybe it's on the actual table there. Just going around and finding anything that I think could work for this. And of course we'll have to decorate the whole bar area as well. Definitely put some like jars and stuff over there. Maybe utensils, but I feel like those are better suited in the kitchen. Also, I don't have dine out, but I would imagine that you should be able to make this like a functional kind of restaurant if you did have dine out, because I'm going to add in a full kitchen, but I don't really know the full logistics of how that system works. But if you do have it, I think this could be a fun one to try and turn into an actual diner. But I think for me, I'm just gonna have to have it listed as a cafe or something. Maybe if I put a bookshelf over here, how does that look? I think it looks really cute, but I also did want like the little coffee station, so we'll have to figure that out. Okay, I took all the items off of there. We can definitely put mugs over here as well. And we can put some there too. Oh, you know what we should put in though would be a speaker. I guess maybe some wall speakers would make sense. This is a residential one. Can't I find versions that have like specific music playing? Oh, this one is a cafe wall speaker. Oh, having the jukebox from Strangerville in here would be really fun. But I just don't have the space for it. But it would fit so well. Could I fit it over here in the cinema? Probably not. Okay, I guess we'll have to go with just a generic wall speaker. I will put it over here, I think. And that should hopefully reach everywhere in this diner. And then we have the speaker. Ooh, a little clock would be really cute as well. I don't really know where I would put this. Maybe I'll put it by the door. Oh, and I did want a coat rack. I feel like this is a very disorganized decorating section. My brain is all over the place. There's so many things I want to include and I'm scared I'm going to forget them all. I don't think we need a shoe rack. That doesn't really make sense. We could put in a plant though, just for some extra decor and a little bit of color. I feel like another plant over in this corner is needed. I mean, I don't want to block the sim that's sitting here, so I'll need something slightly smaller. But I mean, there's so many tables and chairs in this area already. If they are blocked, I don't think it's the worst thing, but I will try to avoid it. Maybe I'll just try this base game one in orange. I also feel like we could add other wall decor over here. It's a little bit lacking in this corner. Let's use this sign. I feel like that feels very diner-y, which is not really a word. We could do a couple of those. Or instead of doing those, we could add curtains. And that would actually make it feel really cute in here. It's just a matter of which ones. I kind of like these pull-down ones from Cottage Living, but I can't use those because I said I wasn't using Cottage Living. Oh, the beaded ones. I don't know if that's maybe a bit too boho for in here. I don't know though. I kind of really like them, but I wouldn't know what to do with this middle curtain, so I guess we'll find something else. Why don't I try just these individual ones from Cats and Dogs? I think there's a lot of good color swatches that will work in here. This one specifically works really nicely. Oh, but I really like the ones with the flowers. I think that's nice. I'm gonna raise them up a little bit just so that you can still see more window. Unless I raise the windows up. Maybe I will raise everything up actually by 0.3. I guess I should do the same over here then. All right, very nice. Okay, I actually think I will switch back to the versions I had though. Because I think maybe with the plaid wallpaper it's a bit much. Okay, and then we can keep these wall signs. And now I think let's go ahead and actually organize all the clutter that I've put on these tables because it looks a little bit crazy right now. I'm going to put the little lamp over here. Kind of hard on a circular table because you have far less space, but I think that can work. Honestly, didn't mind the mug placement as is, but okay. And then we'll give them a couple of different mugs. I guess we can keep the blue there, and we'll switch this one to white. And then over here, let's put, I kind of like the lamp in the middle, honestly. So we'll do that. And then we can put the little condiment thing over here. And then we can have books and stuff. Actually, I guess it should go against the wall so we have more space for all of the study items. Yeah, like that. Can also merge some books in there. So it could be nice if there's like some magazines. Okay, and then also I want to find that backpack from basegame and dot it around these chairs. Maybe we can do the same thing with that new standalone bag from the Grange Mudroom kit. Okay, I'm just gonna tuck this right there, and I'll also take this bag. I'll do this swatch. I'm actually really excited to make these sims and create a sim. I feel like that's going to be so much fun, and I think I'll probably turn it into a video once I know all the sims, but honestly I'm kind of debating making the sims in create a sim first, and then that can kind of help me build the storyline off from there. But we'll have to see. Oh, I did say, didn't I want another chair on the end there? I think this was going to be like a 5-sim group or something. Maybe I'll even tuck the backpack a bit further in the corner or something. Just like that. And maybe another one can just go right beside this bag. Switch this color there. All right. Okay, I think this is looking so cute. I really want to do gameplay now because I love this build so much and I want to like see sims actually using it. I know a couple of you have been asking if I would do gameplay or even like the create a sim videos as well. I just get kind of like stressed out because I feel like with gameplay so many things can go wrong, and I feel like when you're trying to like tell a story with it, it just gets so stressful if things aren't going how you planned, I guess. So if I did ever do a gameplay series, it would have to be a very casual one so I don't psych myself out, because otherwise I would be just stopping and restarting every 2 seconds. Because I've actually tried to film a gameplay before. Also, I'm just using this light to map out where I want the decorations, in case you're wondering what I'm doing. But yeah, I tried to do a little bit of gameplay before, but things were just going like horribly. I think I started and I was feeling really nervous about like doing the actual voiceover while I was playing, and then I think like 5 minutes into recording, my sim set herself on fire. So after that, I called it quits. And I haven't really attempted it again, but that was my experience. But I think maybe I can try to do some again at some point and see how it goes. But if you guys are okay with like more casual Let's Plays, then let me know, because I don't think I can do the like really planned out cinematic ones. As much as I love those ones, I think those are so cool, and props to the people that do those, because that must take so much work and requires a patience that I simply do not have. I don't think I sized this one down, so I'm gonna do that. And I'll scooch the lamp over. Also put in this one, and then on this side, oops, I'll just add some board games. Also a plant. Maybe I'll put these little tulips. Gonna switch the vase color. And then we have this bag, which I think belongs to a sim currently using this spot. And I need like, I feel like more things along the back here, or I just need to remove a couple of things. Maybe I'll remove a couple of things so it feels more, I guess, accurate. Do it like this. And then we have this Sims little books over here. And their bag. Okay. So cute. And now let's do this little section here. I'm also debating adding rugs under the tables, which I know is not realistic by any means, and I'm like, oh, I'm trying to do a realistic build. However, I do think it looks really cute, and it always pains me to leave the floor bare, which is why I tried to pick like a very patterned tile, but even that isn't quite patterned enough for my liking. So I kind of want to add more to it, but I think I should maybe just leave it bare because that's like the most realistic thing to do. Also, I'm going to put in these overhead lights from Parenthood, which are meant to be like mason jars, and I think that fits the area super well. I'm going to switch their glow though to a warm yellow or warm white. And now let's just kind of touch up this area. I also want to put a lamp in this corner. I just have lights absolutely everywhere in this build, but I feel like that's important if you're trying to capture a certain mood. I think you need to kind of use lighting to your advantage. Oh, maybe these little jars could be for the coffee station. I'll put a couple of these. And I also wanted to put this spice rack. I should probably move this because my items keep snapping to it. Maybe this can be for some people who are currently sitting here. All right. I'm gonna adjust the colorings on these a little bit. Maybe I should even put in more mugs, but... And then we can put this item back. And then for this little tea area, I wonder if there's some sort of bookshelf that has an empty space where we could put your tea stuff, but it could also be a bookshelf, if you know what I mean. I know that might be like a weird combo and you definitely risk damaging the books, but I'm a little bit tempted. Like if I did something like this, but if I put the table in front, it won't be functional, so I think I'll have to raise it up through the basement if I want to do this method. I like the look of this one, honestly, but there's not really a good space to put my tea clutter. I mean, this one could definitely work. I just don't always love the color swatches. Or there's the werewolves one. Maybe something like this. This one is from Parenthood. I do think, oh, and that color swatch is really pretty. I wasn't planning on using this table, but honestly, I feel like I could. Okay, I'm gonna keep perusing bookshelves a little bit. There's that one from Growing Together. Okay, I think it's kind of got to be like an either or situation, and I'm leaning towards just doing the bookshelf right now. Because then your Sims can actually like take out books and read, whereas the coffee station wouldn't actually be functional. So I'm gonna go with this instead, which means that maybe instead of the spice rack over here, I will put these jars instead. Adorable. Maybe I'll put even more mugs over here. I also want to put that little tip jar thing from the Everyday Clutter Kit. Ooh, and maybe these notes, like they're actively taking down orders. Very Luke's Diner. And the coin thing is where? Oh, I think, didn't I put it over here? Yeah, I did. I'm gonna add it on this area of the cinema and then also on this area. And then they all have tip jars. So I'm gonna need to alt place a couple things like the notepad. Cute. And I feel like I need like one other thing on this side. Maybe I will take the cleaning caddy from the kitchen clutter kit and we could make that look like what they use to wipe down the tables and stuff. Like kind of like a busing station sort of, but instead of it being a station, it's just one object. I don't know where I would put it is the problem. Oh, maybe I can put it over on this side. Just leave it there. I also feel like I could fit one more thing in that corner. I wish we had some kind of like syrup bottle thing. I guess we have these bottles, but I think this is not meant to be syrups. But perhaps if I size it down. Okay, it could work. I just have to move it over a little bit. Oh, it's far too high though. Okay, I'll definitely have to lower it so it looks like it's sitting on the table, but I think that could possibly work. Or we'll put a little utensil holder back here so they can like stir the coffee. And I will also add, I just need like one other thing and then I shall be content. Oh, maybe I'll do the revolving spice rack. Put the... You know what? I'll put just the revolving spice rack. Doesn't need to be lowered though. Oops, I didn't even do that right. Okay, much better. I'll put it in the teal to match. It can be yellow. Oh my gosh, I love how this looks. This is everything I was dreaming of and envisioning. It's always so satisfying when you have a build that turns out the way you envisioned it in your head, if that makes sense. So I am one happy girl right now. For the counters here, maybe I can just use these base game ones. It's gonna be a little hard to decorate this space because of the bar back that I have there. The light blue is really pretty. Ooh, I'll use these orange ones. I also had this little mop bucket from Horse Ranch because I thought that could be a fun item. It's going to make this counter not functional, but honestly, I think that's okay. I just have to make sure these 4 counters are accessible, and then we'll have a fully functioning kitchen. Or actually, with the spacing, I kind of want the fridge to be in this corner, which means we will have to get rid of the mop bucket. For fridge, we have this one from Home Chef Hustle, which is pretty. Ooh, I want to use this one from Growing Together. I feel like that matches the vibe perfectly. Even though this is meant to be like an area you don't really see, I'm gonna put it in anyways. I'm gonna switch these to more of a beige countertop. Ooh, unless I go with like that green, but we'll try this instead. If that's the case, maybe the fridge should be orange just for a bit of cohesion. We can have dishes in the sink, because I'd imagine it's probably a very busy place. We can also have a dishwasher. Ooh, and it comes in the perfect teal color if I use the one from Parenthood. Then what else do we have? Oh, this could have been a fun item to put over here instead of the bookshelf. Can I squeeze it in over here? Will that make it not functional? Ooh, maybe in this corner? It's gonna cut off some of my pictures. Okay, maybe I just won't add it, but it was a cute idea in theory. Oh, this drink tray as well would be really cute. I'm gonna put this over on this table here. And then your Sims can have like lemonade and stuff. Though you might have to move it if you want to actually use it. I guess it'd probably be helpful to have a stove as well. I mean, this one from the Restoration Workshop kit is pretty spot on. Oh, which means I could have used the stove or the fridge from that kit as well. I just scrolled too far so I didn't even see it. Should I use it? It's a little bit iconic. The yellow's pretty. I'm slightly tempted, but I think I'll stick with growing together. Okay, I have the fridge. I just need the matching stove. Ooh, or I can do the mint stove from Parenthood. Yeah, I like that more. Okay. I can only clutter up one counter here if I want the rest to be functional. But I might even just put an appliance on there. You can make coffee and stuff over here. That's fully functional, so I don't have to worry about that. So I might put in a kettle, and then that way you can have even more things. Ooh, or a waffle maker. Wait, I want to put so many appliances in here. I mean, the thing is, I want to add things like this, but I don't know if your Sims will actually be able to... Like, if you have dine out, I don't know if you can use this as, like, a feature. But I guess this is a diner over a cafe, so if I had to pick between the tea and the coffee, probably pick... Or the tea and the coffee versus waffle maker. I'd probably pick the waffle maker. Oh, I could even do the pizza oven. Okay, I'm gonna keep the waffle maker because I feel like this also makes tea here. So I think it would be okay. Then we can just kind of clutter around it. And then the other counter is just gonna have to be completely empty so that, you know, your Sims can cook and whatnot. I don't really want them coming out here to cook on these counters, so I might actually have to clutter those up a bit more now that I think about it. But for this back corner... what things should I add? Oh, maybe like a knife block. And... do this little scale here. Ooh, I'm gonna put the phone on the counter here. This is not a functional item, but it is a super cute item. Maybe I will do it so the phone is like right beside, and then we can put our sticky notes over a bit. And I'm gonna switch it to the yellow. And then hopefully that blocks that counter. I don't know. Maybe I should put another mug or something just to be safe. That would be cute. And then for this corner one here, I don't know. there's not just like plates of food that I can add, so it's kind of prohibiting my ability to make this not functional. Maybe I'll put the open journal on this corner as well, and then it'll look more filled in. And then this one, I'm just gonna keep my fingers crossed that that little sticky note makes that counter unusable. Could put some plates back here. I'm gonna put this little recipe book instead of the knife block, I think. And then I think the wall items are really gonna help us out here because I can put a whole bunch of like pots and pans. Do those ones. I guess we could put some cabinets as well. Though with the windows, it's kind of going to get blocked a lot, so maybe I won't. This would be super helpful, though. I don't know if you need that plus a smoke alarm, so I'm going to add one just to be safe. But it might be a little bit overkill. And then that has to be empty. There's still more wall items I could put, though. This isn't even the pot rack I was initially thinking of. I was kind of thinking of the one from basegame, so I might put that in instead. Also, I put this door so it's like easily pushable if you're going in and out with food and whatnot. And then I'm hoping this sign could read as like an employees only sign, even though I know it's meant to be like a closed sign. But hopefully you guys will see it as like employees only. Okay, where is that base game pots and pans wall item? Oh, I guess that there's also this item from Home Chef Hustle, I think. Okay, these are the pots and pans I was thinking of. Almost feel like this needs to be even more tiled. This fruit basket's probably a little bit too big. Alright, and then lastly I'll put a couple of different wall markings and stuff. I like to put these grimy ones from For Rent on behind the stove to look like food grime has just kind of built up. And they have yet to clean it. And I guess we could put like a couple of splatters and scrapes to help it feel a bit more worn. That's probably good for the kitchen and the diner. So the last area is to come up here and work on the teen hangout spot. Alright, so for up here, I mainly want a bunch of little couches and stuff, but I want them to look very disheveled. I'm also not entirely sure how they got these up here using just the staircase. They would have to be mighty strong. But I want to do like a few of these and then maybe like a rug and also a couple of fairy lights is what I was trying to say. Okay, the only other beat up couch I'm kind of thinking of is this one from Seasons, or not Seasons, sorry, City Living. I don't know if it's like, I think I prefer to have a love seat instead of 2 3-seaters. So let me take a look. We could get some kind of like bench up here. Ooh, we could even use things like, there's this bucket from the Restoration Workshop kit that's actually a stool. And maybe same with like some of these. I think a beanbag for sure. This one looks reclaimed. Maybe we'll do like those two. Maybe I'll use this as like a side table instead. Or perhaps I'll use this one as a side table and this can actually just be a seat. It looks so small in comparison. Maybe if I size it up, I'll use it as a side table beside the couch. Okay. And I kind of want to use the plaid version up here. The pink one. I feel like I have those chairs really far from each other, so move them in a little bit closer. I also want there to be more like activities and whatnot for your Sims up here, which is why I have this over here. Oops, where can I even fit this? Not there. Put it there. Okay, I'm debating just like one more seat. Maybe the tire stack. I mean, I feel like that could make sense. Ooh, let's do this lawn chair from Discover University. I think that fits very well. Okay. And then I want fairy lights, but I need standing ones. I mean, there's a whole bunch of like lanterns and stuff from City Living we could use, but I don't know if they're gonna look a little too fancy. Oh, these ones are from Seasons. These are really cute ones from For Rent. Snowy Escape. I just don't know if these ones feel like the Sims, the Teen Sims could have put them up here is the problem. So maybe I'll take the ones I was using from Businesses and Hobbies and just put those up here. Because they seem more realistic to me of things like your Sims would have been able to find to put up here. Do a couple from that pole. And maybe one more along this side. It actually might be one too wide. It doesn't even fit. Can I do one this way? Or maybe not. Okay, I think something like that can work. And then we can find a rug. I know maybe having a rug outdoors with zero cover probably doesn't make much sense, but I mean, it would be a beat-up rug anyways. Probably something like this. Or I'm also thinking the one from Laundry Day. I think this looks so cute. I'm going to switch out the coloring here just so everything matches a little bit better, even though I wanted to use the pink one. But let's try to find a couple of activities and like skill items, I guess, for your teens or young adults. I don't really know who it's like. I've been saying teens, but I could very well make them young adults, so there's like even more activities. I guess it's kind of up to you guys. We'll have to see. But let's put just like any skill item, guys. Ooh, what about fireworks? Ooh, they could have a water balloon fight up here. That could be fun. Oh, it'd be cute if I put a little fire pit up here, but that would definitely draw attention, so I won't do that. Let's add, I guess if we put this cooler, I think they could have like snacks and stuff up here, which would be really helpful. So I will add this in. That's from Growing Together. No, that's from Businesses and Hobbies. Don't think a swing set up here would be very safe. I could put like a kiddie pool. There's that tent. Ooh, I'm gonna put the basketball hoop up here. That'll actually fit pretty perfectly. I could want to use this freestanding one, but again, I don't know how they would have gotten that up there. I mean, I guess I don't know how they would have gotten this one up here either. But I mean, it fits perfectly on that wall, so I'm gonna keep it. And we can take some of the floor markings for it. I want the one that's like just the little white painted line though. Don't see where that is exactly. The only problem is if I add that in, I can't add too much else because I won't want to block your Sim's path. But maybe that's okay. Maybe I could put a card table up here as like one kind of final activity. Or like this game's table. I mean, I could add a dartboard here. Those kind of fit. Maybe the darts makes more sense than the basketball. Okay, I really like the idea of the basketball, but we'll do the darts instead. I'm gonna use the tool mod to actually make it visible. Like that. I think that's enough space, but actually, maybe it should be on this side. If I could put mini golf up here, I absolutely would, and then it would really be like the top of Karen's Cafe. Ooh, a ping pong table. I'm gonna get rid of this, and we can put the cooler over here instead. Okay, and I'll make it green up here. I think we can put the card table over here. That should be accessible and functional. Then I'll leave that fairly empty so your Sims can get through there. And lastly, I think maybe I'll put some like posters and stuff on this wall. Just have to pull them out a little bit. I'm gonna remove this half wall for the time being just so I can place posters and things more freely. So maybe I should use the ones from high school years. We have a collection somewhere, and every time I look for these posters, I can never find them. I mean, these are like the individual ones, but I'm looking for the cluster. That's Parenthood. Because there's these. Some black and white photos. Maybe these could be like the clues from the, like, basically the Sims version of A from Pretty Little Liars, like I was talking about. This is kind of where they're keeping track of everything. Maybe we could add in some of these as well. I don't know, I just kind of need little random posters to fill up this area. Oh, this is the tag that I was talking about, so I'm gonna put it up here. But I'm trying to make it small so it's maybe a little bit more discreet. But that's either like their kind of friend logo or maybe the person that they're trying to find. And this is exactly the poster item I was looking for. I don't know which version I'll use. I think maybe the one with the calendar feels appropriate. And then maybe one more thing back here. So I actually will take those ones back from Lovestruck because I like the layout of them. I also feel like there comes with a version, yeah, that's like the things have been torn down. I can use that. And maybe add in some grime and stuff on here. And then we will put back the half wall. Alright, and that's good for the little teen hangout up here. We're gonna start the tour now, so this is how the outside came out. I think it looks so pretty. I love all the twinkly lights and just all the little details. I'm glad I took my time with it. Even like the side of it looks really pretty, which usually I feel like the sides are kind of neglected. The back is pretty much just trees, but I'm also going to show you guys it in fall as well because I think it looks extra pretty. But I think this looks so cute, and I think it's matching my mood board perfectly. And then up here we have the little teen hangout. I think this spot came out really nice as well, and I like how many skill items are up here, or like activities at least. So let me quickly show you the outside in fall, and then we'll do the inside. So this is it during fall time. Literally so cute and cozy. I'm obsessed, and I think I love the more like muted tones when it's in fall. Even though I do love like a vibrant ivy on the wall, but I think it looks so cozy in the fall time. Just do a quick little tour. But I think the red and the yellow of the theater looks really gorgeous when it's fall time. And so now we'll start with the interiors. So we walk up this way, we have our little ticket stand over here. I like that you can see the microphone and stuff through the window. And then we come in through the front doors here. We have our little kiosks. We have our like currently playing films as well, like as movie posters. I put in these frameless or pictureless or mirrorless lights, I think from Get to Work, to kind of frame them and make them feel more fancy. Then I also found like these vintage movie posters from Get Famous, and we have like the arcade thing. And then we come over here and we have the bathrooms. Now I'm really excited to show you the bathrooms because this first bathroom is nothing crazy. I tried to make it look really beat up, and I also made some stalls using half walls, so if you don't have any of the packs that come with stalls, it's no worries. And then I used like this setup here. This stuff is Get to Work, and that's high school years. And then that's the first bathroom. And then this one, I tried to make it look like it's under maintenance or like out of service, because I was thinking that the teens actually use this to like stash some of the stuff that they find, or like any of the clues that they have. So you can see again, I put the tag there, and then there's just more graffiti. This first stall is really nothing, but then in this stall, I put like more graffiti, and I tried to hide a couple of like cash and packages back here, so that's like kind of where they store things. And I think the sim that works here kind of keeps this place looking like it's consistently under maintenance, so no one will go and check on it. And I'm thinking maybe their boss is a little bit lax and like doesn't really check up on this place too much. Like I feel like they're kind of almost like working their way up to manager, and that's why they can get away with stuff like that. Or I was thinking like their parents are the owners, and then that way like their parents just kind of trust their judgment or something. But that's the little concession stand, which I think came out really cute. And then we have our staff room. I did add a couple more things to this, like we have curtains now and some wall markings. I really like this ticket stand. I think that came out so well. And then I put like a calendar and things like that. And then if we go at the back here, it's just the staircase and everything. So we'll go back out, and then we will go upstairs. I'm using these railings from Werewolves. I also put this utility closet from Lovestruck. And then we have just some items here. I put in a little fish tank because I felt like it needed something, and I feel like the theater is small enough that they could have a fish tank. And we have this little hallway. This is kind of like the fire exit, and then you can get out to the fire escape and then go up to the teen hangout. However, I'm going to show you the theaters. We'll start with this first one. I love how the theater came out. I think it's so cute and whimsical and cozy. I really like the addition of like that red recording light kind of thing over there, and that I made the speaker look like a projector. I'm really happy with my use of some of the items in this build because I feel like I didn't use them for their intended purpose, but they worked well for what I wanted them to. Then we have this little theater. It looks really cute when the movie's playing. Maybe I'll insert a clip if I can remember to do so, but that's the little movie theater. And then we come on out and we can walk this way and get over to the cafe. You walk in through these double doors and this is what you see. I think this is so cute and so cozy. I can't come up with more synonyms, but this is the little seating area for like the core group of Sims I'm gonna make, which I think is perfect and definitely what I was envisioning. I really love the gallery wall as well. And the color scheme in here, like it feels retro but also still applicable to like 2000s drama series. And I really like what I did with this bar back, and it is completely functional, so that's very exciting as well. Come over this way and look at these tables. I'll show you the bathroom, but there's really not much to say about it. We have this here. I decided to put another alien poster because A, it matched the color scheme, but B, if I do go with that like alien lore, then it fits. So I put that in there. Also, the lighting coming in right now is so pretty. And then we can come back here into the kitchen. It's a very small space, but it does its job. Again, I really like the color scheme and whatnot. And I like the addition of all the grime I added. Is that Vlad? Who is that? Oh my gosh, I think it's Vlad. I think he died from the sun. Okay, well, I was just trying to make a peaceful little tour video, and turns out we have killed the vampire. So, okay, I now just have Vlad's urn, so I guess I'll just put it in my pocket and keep it with me. What's he gonna watch? Oh, the Grim Reaper is watching Love Island. Alright everyone, that is going to be it for today's video. I really hope you enjoy watching me build the first community lot. I'm really happy that we included so much lore in this lot alone. It's nice to know that I can do lore on community lots, not just home lots, so that's very exciting. As always, if you have any comments or suggestions or things you want to see me build, make sure you leave it down below. Also give this video a like and subscribe if you want to see some future content, and hopefully I will see you all in the next video.